Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another money making video, and today I'm going to be flipping with 2.5 bill to make some bank. Since the market is dying down a little bit after the Desert Treasure 2 update, anyway, let's hop over to the Grand Exchange and set some trades. Alright, we're at the Grand Exchange and we're going to be doing some active flipping today. That means we're going to stand at the Grand Exchange and trade some items back and forth actively. I'm going to focus on larger margins in the video, that way we can hit a 8 mil profit per hour, but I'll try to squeeze in some high volume flips as well, so if you don't have 2.5 bill to work with, you can still learn from this video. Anyway, let's hop into it. The first flip I'm going to list is actually a higher volume one, and that is the Awakener's Orb. They currently look like they might be bouncing off a price bottom, so it seems like a good opportunity to trade these up right now. We're going to list some Awakener's Orbs for around 3,012,000. We basically just finished listing our items and the Soul Reaper Axe has already bought. Now, the Soul Reaper Axe has been extremely volatile these past couple of days, but I am going to try to trade it. That way we can squeeze a little bit of profit out of it. Besides that, we've got a lot of high margin stuff listed. These are all items I pulled off the OSRS price cloud. Pretty much what I do when I scan for items is I pull up this website and I just look through the list and see what is really good margin, and I just kind of try and flip that. A lot of people ask me what they should do if they do not have a ton of money and they can't really flip those items on the OSRS price cloud. In those situations, I highly recommend creating a flipping list and trading high volume items. That way there is a little bit less risk on the table and you can still make a ton of money. If you want more information on that, you can definitely check out some of my flipping guides on my channel. Those will point you in the right direction of how to flip a smaller cash stack. Oh, there is a drop party at the GE. Oh no, it's going to the wilderness. I wonder what's gonna happen. We did get our first two Void Wakers. We're going to turn this around and sell them for about 160 million. We're going to go right under just to have a competitive price offer. These should trade for about a 300k profit. They might have to wait for a little bit to sell off, but at least we'll get some money from that. By the way, this flipping session and all these flipping sessions I have been recording recently are for you guys to get your flipping questions answered and watch some high-level flipping. So if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack or how to flip in old school RuneScape, definitely let me know in the comments section below. I will answer your questions on the next flipping session that I have. That way you can get live commentary on any of your flipping questions. And our first flip has completed. The Void Waker sold off for a 289k profit. That is a little bit lower than I normally flip the Void Waker, but profit is profit at the end of the day, and that is our first flip after an 8-minute session. I have noticed that items are starting to die out a little bit in terms of volume. The Desert Treasure 2 update came out a few weeks ago at this point, and the market is kind of settling in as new prices are realized. That basically means that margins are just a little bit tighter than they normally would be, and volume is down a little bit compared to the prior weeks, but there is still good opportunity on a lot of the Desert Treasure 2 items. They're just sort of expensive for most people to flip. I went ahead and tried to list some Dragon Claws here, and this is a great example of items I look to trade when I'm active flipping. Items that are trading in a very consistent range are usually ideal because they are very predictable and are more likely to work out. You can see here on the Dragon Claws, for the past 13 hours or so, the Dragon Claws have traded in a very straight pattern, and it's been pretty easy to tell where they've been bouncing off from a price standpoint, so we could easily buy them around 90,800,000 is where I'm aiming for, looking to sell them off for 91,900,000. That'll net us about a 200k profit for every single one that we do flip, but this is what I look for. Patterns like this where items are trading consistently. Those are the most predictable and easiest to make money with. We did end up selling off the Venenator ring, but we only made 440k on the flip, which is really not that great. We're going to list another one here and aim for a little bit more of a margin, maybe around 600 to 700k. You could actually make a lot of money flipping the new rings, but the problem is they don't flip super consistently. There's still not a ton in the game, so price is still pretty volatile, and I always like to minimize my risk during active flipping sessions, so I'll take a smaller profit for a quicker trade as compared to a larger profit on a longer trade. The quicker your trades are, the quicker you can get through buy limits, and the quicker you can move on to other items for potentially more profit. Currently tapping in at a 2 mil profit on the session so far, averaging about 6.8 mil per hour. If we can sell this Soul Reaper axe, I'll be feeling a lot better about our profits so far, and we are still in the price range after 15 minutes, so I do think this will sell very shortly. All of the Awakener's orbs have sold. This has been such an amazing flip recently. We're up about 1.2 mil on flipping those alone, which is amazing considering it was not that hard to flip. And our first pair of Dragon Claws have sold for a 275k profit. We'll take it. I don't know what it is, but I really want to flip an Elysian today. I feel like every flipping session we do, I always try and buy one, but for some reason, it is always getting away from me. I'm going to keep the offer in and really cross my fingers on this one. I want to showcase the Elysian flip. It's just such an iconic item to flip, and I really want to flip one. Currently up 3.2 mil on the session so far, but the Soul Reaper axe is maybe looking a little bit questionable from a profit standpoint. The Twisted Bow has been on a price tear upwards, and I'm going to try to flip it here. It looks like it's capping out at about 1.4 bill. Doesn't look like it's really going beyond that. And I think we can maybe flip them in the higher range here for about a 1.5 mil profit each. I've got my listing in, we'll see what happens. We finally finished selling the Dragon Claws. That is a 763k profit across all of the ones we sold. And finally, some of the Rings of Endurance are selling as well. Currently getting about a 420k profit for every single one that we do sell. We're getting a little bit of movement on our items, but that Twisted Bow is coming down quickly in price. It feels like every time I get in on one of these, it's at the absolute worst time. That being said though, we are trying to sell it off for a 100k profit. If we can get that off, we'll try and buy another one cheaper. We also had the Bow of Faerine finally finished selling. We made about 270k for the two that we flipped, a little bit smaller of a margin than I would have liked. We were able to buy and sell an Osmuten's Fang for about 270k in profit. I really don't think I'll get another one at this price point, but I'm going to list for a little bit higher and see if we can squeeze maybe one or two more in. Finally, we got that Soul Reaper axe off, 680k profit. Pretty low, but at least we didn't get screwed over on that one. That brings us to a 5 mil total profit on the flipping session so far, and I'm actually going in for another Soul Reaper axe. I'm feeling lucky, I guess, even though we're not having a lot of luck on this Twisted Bow. More of the Fangs have sold. We're getting a really good margin on these right now, currently up about 860k from the ones that we have flipped. Going in and buying a few more here. I think we can buy 4 more before we hit the limit. All of the Primordial Boots have sold, 350k profit. It did take a little bit of time to sell those off, but it wasn't a stressful flip. We finally got our first Magus ring to buy. This is actually the first one I think I've ever flipped. I might have tried to flip one earlier and lost a little bit of money on it, but we did actually get it to buy, so currently looking at about a 800k margin or so on the ring, which is pretty solid. We also sold off the Twisted Bow, which is amazing. I was a little bit worried that was going to crash on us. Unfortunately, we only made 280k, but again, profit is profit. Wow, just hit a nice margin on the Ancestral Robe Bottom, 640k. That is pretty solid for the Robe Bottoms. Gonna try and buy another one of these and get a similar margin on it, although I'm going to increase our buy offer by about 50k. Just over an hour into the flipping session, 8.2 mil in profit. Never mind, I guess that updated really quick. The Magus ring has actually sold. Let's see, we made about 805k flipping that, right about what I predicted. We're going to try and buy another one of these for probably about 75k higher than where we bought this one. Just a little bit more actually, we'll do about 100k, and we'll see if we can flip that. Probably going to flip for another 15 to 20 minutes or so. I really want to hit that 10 mil profit mark before the episode ends, and hopefully we can get over that 8 mil per hour profit goal. Right now, I honestly think it's looking pretty good. We're pretty likely to hit that, but anything can happen in a flipping session. We could lose a little bit of money, I'm towards the end of my session here, but we're not at the profit goal, so I'm doing something a little bit risky and going in big, trying to flip the Temekin's Shadow, which currently just passed the 1.4 billion GP mark. That is insane. This thing has gone up so much in price in the past couple of months, but we're going to try and flip one and sell it for about 1.409 bill, and hopefully that'll net us a good bit of GP. We can cap off our session with a nice gain and get to that 10 mil profit standpoint. Alright, not a lot of our items are moving, so we're going to back out of everything and call the flipping session here. Everything that is still selling, I will let sell for a couple of hours, but let's call it a 7 mil an hour profit with a 9.1 mil total gain. And that is it for today's flipping session. A 9.1 mil profit in about an hour and 15 minutes is not too bad in a normal market. For those curious, we were able to sell off those additional items after about 3 or 4 hours for an extra 1 mil or so. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to smack that like button, and of course, let me know if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack or how to flip in old school RuneScape. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.